I've been spoiling you guys way too much with Evo content and STI content that it's time to bring in some BRZ content because I have some stuff I need to do to the BRZ today, which includes some things I actually highly suggest everybody do. If you have a BRZ GT86, any of the newer ones, this is like 2 go-to modifications that I highly suggest for any owner out there. One of them is going to be an oil, and the other is going to be one of these fancy P3 gauges. It's kind of like if you've ever had a WRX, an STI, Focus ST, Audi RS3, anything that a cob access port supports, having that access port to be able to display important information is very important. And that's kind of what that P3 gauge does. But I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. Before I get started on the BRZ, I don't want to run to the gas station and get something to drink because it's a little hot out today. I'll give you guys a little bit more STI content. Go rip around this. Well, we can't rip around in it. Let's go put some more miles on the STI. Grab a drink. And then come back here and we'll start working on the BRZ. Apologies for how loud this is about to be.
Liar.
Yeah, you're right, I ain't sorry. Get some POV action going here for you guys. Let me roll down this window so you can really hear that cold start. Really hear that cold start. Cannot get over how good this thing fucking sounds. Let me grab a drink. Be right back. Damn it. It's so hard to not get into boost with this thing. I can't open this with one hand, can I? Oh, don't spill it. Oh. So now that we're back and I've got a nice cool beverage to keep me cool on this nice hot day, we are going to get started on the BRZ. So I need to finish wiring in the dash cams. I finally snagged an add a fuse so that way I can do it. I've got our P3 gauge that we're going to be wiring in. There's sirens in the background, so hold on. Okay, they're not really going away, so whatever. Suma Performance also sent over some wide angle mirrors for the BRZ, and we're all, like I said, the other thing we're going to be doing is an oil change. From the factory, these cars come with 0W20. I hate 0W20. It's a very thin oil. They do it for fuel economy reasons. We're going to be changing that to 530 because 530, in my opinion, has a better heat range for the car, especially a performance car like this. People have blown up their motors on 020. I don't suggest 020. So I think the first thing that we're going to do today, let's start off easy and get these Suma Performance mirrors in. It's as easy as popping off the old mirror, popping on the new one. Actually, yeah, we'll do the Suma Performance mirrors first. So I'm pretty sure it's as easy as just sticking your hand in here and popping this thing off. Mine are heated though. And mine are heated, and these Suma Performance ones are not heated. Do I care to have heated mirrors? And I guess if I really want, I can just swap them back later for the heated mirrors. I prefer wide angle, but I also like heated. Why aren't these heated? That's kind of annoying. I'll toss these in for now. Worst comes to worst, we'll swap back to the OEM ones later if the non-heated becomes an issue. In theory, like I said, these guys should just kind of pop right off. Like that. They literally come off extremely easy. And then the heating element goes in there, but... Dude, how are there already spider eggs in my mirrors? It's a brand new goddamn car. We already got spider eggs in here? Get out of here, spiders. This dude is like dead in here. The body is right there. He dead. I'm pretty sure this mirror goes in right here on this side. Bam! Goes in just like that. That's not bad. Let me grab some glass cleaner real quick and clean all my little grimy fingerprints off that thing. Oh, dude. I'm sorry for hitting the microphone. You guys, you can see way more out of those mirrors than you can those ones. And they're like that nice tinted blue color. I like that. Dope. Let me do that one real quick. Mirrors are in and they look fantastic. I'll show you guys here in a sec. I actually decided I'm gonna do the oil change next just to get that off the table over here. Then we can start focusing on this P3 gauge and getting our dash cams wired in. Having a dash cam in your, like, for the most part, daily driver, I think is one of the best modifications you can do because, dude, there's so much like crap stuff that happens on the road. Plus, it's fantastic to have for insurance purposes, but we're not talking about dash cams today, or at least right now. Talk about them later. But let's change the oil in this thing. I'm curious to see what the oil looks like coming out of here. I think there's like 2,500 miles on this oil. I used all my free oil changes through Subaru, so let's change this thing. I am so not straight, but whatever. How do I pop the hood? Now we're locked in place. Now we can change our oil. Woo! Easy deal. Now we'll let this drain for a little bit. Like I said, this is 020. It's already looking pretty dark from how it comes from Subaru, so I'm gonna let this drain for a couple minutes, get all the old oil out, and we get our new Haviland in. Toss on our new oil filter here. And this makes it so I don't make messes. Now, because we're doing an oil change today, that actually gives me a fantastic opportunity to talk to you guys about today's video sponsor, Haviland. You guys know we work with Techron and Haviland all the time, whether it's oils, fuel system cleaners, whatever it may be. This is a new oil that they recently came out with that I'm excited to use in the BRZ. This is 25% plant-based. It does come in their smart change packaging, so instead of 5 quarts, you get 6 quarts, as opposed to most other manufacturers out there. It's also completely recyclable packaging, utilizing 70% less plastic, which is, I mean, for how much car stuff is being hammered on by like EPA and whatnot, anything we can do to try to reduce how much the EPA can actually yell at us is honestly a good thing. This is also more driven towards small capacity performance style engines like the BRZ. The BRZ is a perfect car for this oil. Same with like WRX's STIs. I'll be using this oil in the Mitsubishi Evo as well once we get that car running. It's incredibly easy to use. I can actually show you guys how to use it since we have to put oil in this car. I've already got this one set up, but there is a small flap on the top here, so when you get it, it will come like so. Pop open the top flap, slide this guy out, slide it in, lock it down, bada bing, bada boom. You got your handle on the side here, you've got your viewing window down here, and because it's in a bag, kind of like boxed wine, you don't get a whole bunch of like the glugs like you would from traditional style packaging, where it just kind of like makes the oil come out like super slow. Like this comes out so smooth, you guys. Boop, look at that. It comes out so easy. It's so easy. And you guys actually, now that I'm putting in my own car, I hope you believe me that I actually do use these oils and these fuel system cleaners because I use them in literally all of the cars. Now, I don't know how much oil the BRZ takes. I probably should have looked that up, but I guess we'll just put some in, check it, let it idle for a minute, check it again, and go from there. It's a rag. I need a rag. I messed up here. Ooh, dude, this box was like literally just enough oil to do this oil change. Let's let it sit for a minute. We'll check that thing. See how we're looking for oil. While that actually drains, I am going to check our catch cans. So we have the Killer Bee catch cans on this car. So we've got one right here, and then we have another one on the back of the engine here. Now the way to drain these is, I'm just gonna pop this guy off, set this rag underneath of the catch can, and then anything that's in there is gonna drain out. A little hard to see, but I'll show you guys this after I get this thing drained. It is back here under, or not even under, just behind the intake manifold. So it's literally just a couple dribbles, so I'll leave that rag there to let it drain for a minute. Maybe give it a couple love taps, but there's definitely oil coming out. Hey, you guys can see there was some blow by that the catch can caught. Let's do the front one. So both catch cans are drained, oil is changed, we're golden. Next up, let's do our P3 gauge, because that's the thing that I think every single BRZ FRS GT86, if you don't have a way to be able to read this data, this is the way to do it. So our P3 gauge is actually gonna sit in a really nice spot in here. It's gonna give a very nice OEM Plus look. It's actually gonna sit right inside of this vent here, and it's gonna connect down to our OBD2. I don't quite know how to get this thing out quite yet, but we'll figure it out. I'm assuming this trim panel has to come off. Maybe we gotta pop this one down a little bit. Subarus are like Legos. They cannot be that hard to figure out. So I think our first step here is gonna be to start disassembling some of this interior stuff. So let's try to get that vent out. Now on top of that, it lets you monitor everything. If you want to take your car to the track, you can view, just reading off the catalog, some functions here. Boost, vacuum, air fuel ratio, reads and clears DTCs, EGT temps, vehicle speed, RPM, shift light, battery voltage, coolant temp, acceleration, brake timers, intake, air temp, throttle position, does much more also. These are a huge thing to prevent your car from dying if you're pushing the car very hard. It lets you monitor a ton of things and be able to make sure that the car is not going to do anything it's not supposed to do. So the way that these install is very clean. I actually really like it. It gives a really nice OEM look. It installs directly into the OEM vent. So step one for us is to figure out how to take that vent out, because honestly I have no idea. So let's start popping interior trim panels off. So it's gonna go right into this vent here. So I'm assuming we need to start off by popping off this side little trim panel guy. I've got a plethora of trim panel tools. I just don't know which ones I wanna start with. Okay, so we're gonna take that guy off first. I think I need to pop off this lower piece also. I bet you there's a screw holding it in. So we'll undo this one screw here. This guy should just, okay, that came off. Yep, I knew it. There was a screw there. So there is a screw behind this guy. I'm just gonna undo this whole trim panel piece right here. And I think in theory it should just pop off now. Oh, look at that. That came off way easier than I was expecting. Sick. Let's go get our gauge put in this. So with our gauge here, I haven't read literally any instructions. I just feel like I'm smart enough to be able to figure this out. Looks like we're gonna take out, or we're just gonna take this vent apart. I think it just pops right apart in a couple pieces. Let me grab a couple picks and whatnot. There's a couple little tabs on the inside of here where you can just kind of get like a pickup in there. Just kind of shove them in, and it looks like it should start like popping things free. Get it to free it. Like that. Oh, okay, that's easy. So this piece comes out. And I don't think we're not gonna end up reusing this piece. And this piece is gonna go in its place. So they give you a really long screw that's going to take its place. And then you have to run this wire through the backside of the vent. So let's screw this down in there. Now that should hold the gauge in place. Which it does, beautiful. And then we can take our cord and run it through the back. Okay, there we go. That feels pretty good. Now that we got this guy in, let's go put this back in the car, and we can start running the wires, which is literally this. It pretty much just plugs into the OBD2 port. It gives you a dimmer, a 5-volt analog, another 5-volt analog, a extra wire for if you want to run, I believe that's their boost gauge. Yeah, so you have a second harness here for like a boost sensor if you really want. So it's pretty much plug and play, man. Go get this thing in there. All right, so let's run our wire underneath of the actual vent here, of this vent here, and then have it come down just so that way it clears the vent. And then this should just push right back in like that. And then we can get that screw back in. I actually do think I have it in upside down. I definitely have it in upside down. Shit. All right, let me pop it out real quick and do a flip job. Okay, now let's plug it back in and see what happens. All right, so let me show you guys this. This thing's really cool. So right now I have it set up on oil temperature. You guys can see it has a really nice OEM fit and finish. The vent still works as well, which is really nice. If you come up here and you push this button, it'll cycle you through. So right now, oil, IATs, 99 degrees, EGTs, 289, those are gonna go up to like 600 plus. Ignition, I think that one said minus 16. I don't quite know what that was, I missed it. Throttle percentage, so 17%. You guys can see. AFRs, 15, 14, 13. 0 to 60 times. Boost, if you're boosted, right now it just reads vacuum. Obviously we have no forced induction. Coolant temps, 178. Speed, battery voltage, RPMs, and then back to oil temp. That's neat. You can also clear check engine lights and whatnot if you have a check engine light on your dash and things like that. Let me get off this little screen protector on here real quick. Got the little screen protector pulled off. Dude, this thing looks so good. It looks OEM too. Like you can't really see it's there and like on footage until you go to start the car. I don't even have it plugged in right now, so it's not even gonna do anything. But it looks so good, I love it. Next up, let me just run this power wire from my dash cams up here real quick, up and behind the center console and over here to the fuse panel. I'm just gonna use an add a fuse real quick. So let me just get that knocked out and then let's go drive this thing around a little bit. So we're headed over to my shop right now just because I got a box of Evo parts here that I gotta go drop off. Well, I don't have to, but it's the perfect opportunity to go drop them off to be able to get some driving footage of this gauge. This thing's dope, dude. I was expecting that one screw on the 3D printed knob to allow the gauge to move around a lot while driving. Dude, it doesn't move at all. It feels solid in there, like it's not gonna like pop off or come out or anything like that. Right now I've got OIl Temp up monitoring. Now I know some of you GR86 owners are gonna say, hey, my cluster or my dash already monitors OIl Temp. Well, guess what? The BRZ ones don't, and it's kind of a little annoying. Instead of having an exact OIl Temp on the BRZ, instead of having an actual oil temperature gauge like the GRs do, we have a little bar, and it kind of estimates approximately where oil temp is. And looking at this, it's pretty accurate. It's right around like 190 it shows on there. I'm seeing 183 on this gauge. I wish it would display oil pressure, but the stock sensor in pretty much every car for oil pressure is just an on-off switch, so it doesn't actually show or read to the ECM what the actual oil pressure the engine is seeing is. It's just if it has oil pressure, the light's on, or the light's off. If it doesn't have oil pressure, the light's on. It's just a switch. Dope, dude. What else we got in here? EGTs. What are our EGTs looking like? 1,276 degrees. That's hot. 280. Dude, it just keeps going up. Jesus. Didn't realize EGTs. Well, I knew EGTs got that hot, but that's wild, man. I don't know if I'll ever need to see EGTs, but you know, it's there as an option. Throttle percentage. Read's pretty nice. I like it. I'm pretty happy with it. What else we got in here? AFR. So the AFR in here reads in standard AFR and lambda. So you can read it however you wish. I think I'm in the standard AFR one right now versus lambda. Then I think we have lambda next. No, then we have 0 to 60. It says stop. Okay, so it's gonna know when you stop and then go, which is kind of cool. Boost. Boost is an application which I see being very prevalent in the future once tuning software actually starts coming out for these cars, because you have a built-in boost gauge right there in this sensor, or in this just complete P3 gauge kit, so that way you don't have to run standalone sensors and standalone gauges. Okay, I didn't think I'd like the TAC option on the P3 gauge, but I do actually kind of like it. It's actually, well, it's extremely accurate. It reads from the exact same source as your cluster does, so dope. Made it out here to the shop, got some stuff dropped off for the Evo. Also got a few things moved around in here, like the power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir, power steering line, a couple small stuff here and there just while I was here. But I'm gonna head back to the house. We're gonna end this video out. I just wanted to get some driving clips with the P3 gauge in the BRZ. Honestly, it's a fantastic gauge, but it's the 4th of July. Everyone's lighting off fireworks, so let's go end this thing. All right, guys, so that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you guys are interested in that P3 gauge or the Suma wide angle mirrors or the Haviland oil, everything will be linked down below for you guys if you guys do want any information on that. If you guys do want to go check those out, make sure to do so. But I highly recommend that P3 gauge for anyone who's going to be like tracking their car, doing anything like that, just to have that additional information that you need, especially if you're tracking the car in a BRZ. Like I said, the GR86s definitely have the option to be able to view your oil temperature, but the BRZs do not. So it's a weird thing. I don't know why they have it that way. It's really weird that they have it set up like that. But if you guys like the video, you know what to do. Go to hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, red, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.